Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Alright, folks, let's talk about something that's been catching a lot of attention lately in the NFL, especially among Steelers fans and AFC North followers. It's a little behind-the-scenes story that might seem minor at first glance, but trust me, it has some interesting implications for the Steelers and their upcoming season. And no, I'm not talking about just any regular travel plan. This involves none other than Aaron Rodgers, the veteran quarterback who's now making headlines in the context of this Steelers trip to Dublin. That's right, the Pittsburgh Steelers are heading to Ireland to face the Minnesota Vikings at Croke Park, marking the first international game of the 2025 NFL season. And while this might seem like just another international fixture, the details surrounding the travel arrangements and Rodgers' reaction reveal a lot about the league's evolving approach to scheduling and the players' perspectives on these overseas games. So, let's break it down. The Steelers decided not to travel to Ireland until Thursday evening, and they only arrived in Dublin Friday morning local time. Now, for those of you who follow NFL logistics and player routines, this might seem like a standard scheduling decision, but for someone like Aaron Rodgers, it's a bit frustrating. Rodgers, who's known for his experience and attention to detail, expressed some disappointment about the timing. He would have liked to get there earlier in the week, maybe to do some sightseeing, soak in the culture a bit before the game. Instead, he had just a day or two to adjust to the time zone and get accustomed to the environment. Rodgers mentioned, "It is what it is, but if the schedule had been a little different, if I could have chosen it, maybe we get over on Monday, Tuesday is the day off." That little comment reveals a lot. It shows how even seasoned NFL veterans like Rodgers value that extra time to settle in, especially when it's an international trip that's not just about the game, but also about acclimating and preparing mentally. Now, Rodgers' comments also hint at a broader issue that the NFL and its teams are starting to grapple with. International games have become a significant part of the league's calendar, aiming to expand the sport's reach globally. But as much as these games are exciting and lucrative, they also bring logistical challenges. Traveling across multiple time zones, adjusting to different climates, and fitting in sightseeing or recovery routines all become part of the game plan. Rodgers, with his experience, understands that these trips aren't just about the game, they're about the whole experience, the mental and physical preparation that goes into it. And from his perspective, the timing of the travel was less than ideal. Steelers owner Art Rooney II, however, weighed in on the matter, defending the team's decision. He said it was a football decision, implying that the team prioritized rest, recovery, and preparation over sightseeing or early acclimatization. It's a perspective that makes sense. The NFL is a results-driven league, and every decision, especially regarding travel, is made with the goal of giving the team the best chance to perform. But this isn't the first time Rodgers has voiced similar concerns. Back in 2022, when he was with the Green Bay Packers, Rodgers had a similar complaint about flying late to London for a game. It's almost become a bit of a pattern for him, and it raises questions about how players perceive these international trips and whether teams should consider more flexible schedules. Now, some might wonder, why would Rodgers be so bothered by the travel timing? Well, even for a player of his caliber, the mental state and physical readiness are crucial. Rodgers is a meticulous planner, often spending extra hours analyzing film, doing yoga, or just decompressing before games. When he feels rushed or thrown into unfamiliar time zones with little time to adjust, it could affect his performance. And let's not forget, Rodgers is still trying to find his rhythm after his move to the Jets, so every detail counts. This trip, although exciting, might add an extra layer of stress or adjustment that he would prefer to avoid. Interestingly, Rodgers does not seem to harbor any hard feelings about the Steelers' decision. It's more of a disappointment than anything else. And honestly, I think that's a very human reaction. It's natural for a competitor like Rodgers to want every advantage, whether it's extra sightseeing, early arrival, or just more time to settle in. but he also recognizes that these decisions are part of the game, and it's about doing what's best for the team's success. It's worth noting that the Steelers are doing well so far this season, and their focus remains on winning. Their defense, led by some of the league's top players, has been solid, and their offense is gradually finding its rhythm under the new system. The travel plans are just one small piece of the larger puzzle that they're trying to put together for a deep playoff run. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about the bigger picture here. International games are becoming more common, and the league is pushing hard to make NFL a global phenomenon. But as we see with Rodgers' reaction, players are often caught in the middle of these logistical challenges. The league's schedule makers have to juggle a lot, balancing home games, away games, bye weeks, and now international fixtures. It's a complex puzzle, and not everyone is going to be happy with every piece. For the Steelers, facing the Vikings in Dublin is a unique opportunity. It's a chance to showcase their talent on a global stage, and for the players, it's a chance to experience something different. But behind the scenes, the travel logistics and personal preferences, like Rodgers' desire to arrive earlier, add layers of complexity. And let's not forget, Rodgers' own history with international travel is quite notable. Back when he was with the Packers, he voiced similar frustrations about late flights and limited time to adjust. It's almost like a recurring theme for him, reflecting his meticulous nature and desire for control over his environment. That's part of what makes him such a great quarterback: his attention to detail, his ability to adapt, and his relentless pursuit of excellence. But it also means that even he isn't immune to the frustrations of a hectic travel schedule, especially when it's outside the usual routine. Switching gears a bit, it's worth considering how this impacts the Steelers themselves. They're a team that's been building solidly over the past few seasons, with a focus on strong defense and a versatile offense. Their defense, in particular, has been impressive, with young talent stepping up and veterans providing leadership. The team's offense is still finding its rhythm, but there's a sense of optimism among fans and analysts that with the right adjustments, they could be serious contenders this year. The trip to Dublin, while challenging, is also an opportunity for team bonding and exposure to international fans. It's part of the NFL's broader strategy to grow the sport globally, and the Steelers, with their history and passionate fan base, are right in the middle of that movement. Looking ahead, the Steelers face a crucial stretch of games, and every detail, from travel to preparation, matters. The team's coaching staff is undoubtedly working hard behind the scenes to ensure that the players are ready, despite the travel hiccups. Young players, like their emerging stars, are eager to prove themselves on this big stage, and veterans are doing everything they can to set an example. The game against the Vikings in Dublin is more than just a regular matchup. It's a statement, a chance to show that Pittsburgh is a team that can handle adversity and still come out on top. And let's not forget, the NFL is always full of surprises. What might seem like a small logistical issue today could turn into a bigger storyline tomorrow. How the Steelers and Rodgers handle this situation could set a precedent for future international games. Will teams push for earlier arrivals? Will players get more say in their travel plans? These are questions that the league will need to address as it continues to expand its global footprint. Now, I want to go back to Rodgers for a moment, because his reaction also reveals a lot about his mindset. Even as he's new with the Jets, he's still the same meticulous, competitive, and slightly perfectionist player he's always been. His desire to arrive earlier and get a head start on acclimatization isn't just about sightseeing, it's about giving himself the best shot to perform at his peak. And honestly, that's what makes him one of the greatest quarterbacks of this era. He's constantly seeking that edge, and even in a situation like this, he's trying to maximize his chances. It's a reminder that, no matter how experienced you are, the little things still matter in football and in life. So what does all this mean for the Steelers moving forward? Well, despite the slight hiccup with travel, their focus remains on winning. Their defense is arguably one of the best in the league, and their offense is showing signs of growth. The trip to Dublin is an opportunity to build chemistry, experience a different environment, and make a statement on the international stage. And of course, it's a test of their resilience, how well they handle the logistics, the jet lag, and the cultural differences. I have no doubt that head coach Mike Tomlin and his staff are prepared for these challenges, and I expect the Steelers to come out stronger for it. As fans, we've seen this team overcome adversity before. Remember, the Steelers have a rich history of resilience, from their dominant defenses in the 70s to the recent playoff runs. Each challenge they face, whether it's a tough opponent or logistical hurdles like this travel issue, only adds to their story. And I'm confident that, with their talent and leadership, they're capable of turning this situation into another chapter of success. Now, wrapping this up, I want to emphasize that despite Rodgers' disappointment, there's no real animosity here. It's just part of the game, the logistical realities, the strategic decisions, and the personal preferences that come with international play. Rodgers is a seasoned pro, and he understands that sometimes sacrifices are necessary for the bigger picture. And for the Steelers, this trip is another step in their journey toward a deep playoff run. They're building something special, and even setbacks like these are just small bumps along the road. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this whole situation? Do you agree with the team's travel decisions? Do you think Rodgers' frustrations are justified? Or do you see this as just part of the game? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. We're in this together, and I can't wait to see what's next for our team. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's go Steelers.